What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Jack, and I'm back with another episode of A Daily Dose. As always, if you're here for a rant, you're in luck, you're in the right place. Today we're going to be talking about hypergamy, and I got a great video here from a content creator that I think gives great context to the topic that we're going to be discussing. Before we get into it, I want to give credit to this content creator. So if you want to watch her video without my commentary, I'll make sure that I have the link in the video description below. Without further ado, let's get into it.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and today I'm going to be talking about hypergamy and female nature. I know a lot of you guys have been looking forward to this video. I've brought it up like in little bits in past videos that I've done, but I've never really done an entire video dedicated to this, and I think it's important and it really does affect modern dating and you guys as well. So let's get started. You might not like some of the things that I say today, and to that I will say don't shoot the messenger. I'm really just trying to be as transparent as possible, and during the video I'm actually going to be referencing some articles that I found that I think do a really good job explaining it, and give you guys just a little bit more context from some other perspectives as well. So some of you guys might be thinking, what is hypergamy? So hypergamy is the act or practice of courting or marrying a person of higher socioeconomic or social class than oneself. Translation, dating or marrying up, and specifically for women. Let's be real here and totally honest. If you were to go interview women on the street, if you were to go ask women, chances are they would prefer someone who makes at least as much money as they do or more money than they do. Take a look at Kevin Samuels, the Fresh and Fit podcast, or really any other channel out there that brings girls on and asks them questions like this. Now, I don't want to put everyone in the same box and say that every single woman would say this. I think there are women out there that maybe don't care as much as other women do.
And that's where I'm gonna have to push back. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. Again, I will always preach this. We take the clear pill approach. It's not good, it's not bad, it just is. Now, taking that information, how can you apply that to your life so that you can win? That's the only thing that we care about, right? So we understand that they all like money, right? You need money to survive. Everybody needs money. Cool. They want you to make more than them. Cool. Right? The small percentage of women that she's talking about, they're not even worth mentioning because the number is probably so small. Again, it's not worth mentioning. And at the same time, what is that woman going to look like? I'm sorry. Right? You want her to look like something, she's definitely going to care about money, lifestyle. That is the messaging that they are receiving and have received, right? So it's either at this point, unless you can live forever and then you want to just wait until the day comes where it changes, hey, by all means do that. However, I don't plan on living forever. I know I'm not going to live forever. So I can only deal with the rules that exist today. And these are the rules. So again, how can I apply this to my life to put me in the best position so I can win, right? And in previous videos, I've talked about how as a man, you can take one or two paths. You be the infinite player, stay on the market, right? And as long as you have the money, then you can do that. Of course, you have to keep yourself in shape, but if you have the money, right, then you can make sure that you're aesthetically pleasing for as long as possible. Or you can get a woman who you love, admire, and respect, and vice versa, and then y'all can start a family because you'll need money for that too. Let's continue.
Especially women who maybe don't care as much about a luxurious, lavish lifestyle. Maybe they just want to live a little bit more traditionally. I doubt that they care. And even then, I do think that most women out there, and emphasis on most, prefer someone who makes more money than they do for that extra security factor, to feel safer when it comes to financials. Even if they are making, enough money to support themselves and maybe their family, they still want someone who makes more. So I want to get to the reason why that's the case. And I actually actually found two articles. One was from Women's Health and the other one was from Men's Health, and it was interesting to see the differences between the two. There were similarities and correlations and a lot of overlap, but it was just interesting to kind of see the difference. I know that a lot of guys have a problem with hypergamy and the fact that women are constantly looking for someone, you know, that makes more money than they do or maybe has a higher social status than they do. What's always really interesting to me.
And real quick, I want to again make a little note. Hypergamy works both ways, right? We always want the prettiest, fittest thing. They want the richest, most attractive man that they can get their hands on or get to commit to them, right? And just like, hey, listen, just like they can go deal with somebody else when they want to because he has more money or he has more status or whatever, you can do that same thing. There is no loyalty in that situation, and that's where we are. You don't, just because they're with you and, you know, it doesn't matter, because if it's 1, 2, or 3 years, if they find somebody else, they'll leave you, right? So that same logic applies on our side. So if I'm with you for 1, 2, 3 years and I find another chick that's better looking or it has a better deal, then I can take that deal because it works both ways, right? It can't be a one-sided deal.
Is when I see men talk about this online, because I think a lot of times women who, you know, tend to go for a man that makes more money than her or someone with a higher social status, they kind of tend to give women like that a bad rap. They're called gold diggers, materialistic, shallow, the list goes on. But what's really funny to me is that women from every socioeconomic status tend to go for men who make more money, like I said, even if she is making a good amount of money herself. So often I don't think it really comes from a place of, you know, being malicious or trying to take a guy for everything he has. I think it is about this feeling of safety and security that's been kind of ingrained into us to look for in a partner.
And here's the thing about that. Even if they don't want to, they don't go into it thinking, well, at least I hope, most of them, let's say most of them don't go into it thinking, yeah, I'm gonna, you know, take everything he has once this relationship's over. That doesn't matter, because the way that the laws are set up, that is the outcome. So you can go through whatever you want to, whatever scenario you want to go to. When you go in that courtroom, that the judge is God in there. In that room, the judge is God. And trust me, I've ran through the scenario with Gronk, with Claude. There is no way that you can get out of pretty much paying them once a marriage ends. You're gonna pay them. So it doesn't matter if she is the type of girl that will or won't do it. They all have the power to do it.
Since women are continuously becoming more successful when it comes to finances, their careers.
Yeah, and all of that means really nothing, because once they all get to a point where they no longer want to work and they just want to stay at home and they just want to be taken care of. So her going to school for 5-10 years, racking up all that debt, it means nothing, because at the end of the day, all of them are going to want you to allow them to stay at home and they don't have to worry about any bills. So them making money is almost, it really doesn't matter, because a lot of them don't want to spend their money anyway. They feel like their money is their money and your money is our money.
Education, socially, it's becoming more difficult for men to kind of meet that criteria that they're looking for, you know, as women are entering workforces that they maybe weren't in the past, and they're making more money than their male peers or men in other industries where they maybe don't make as much money. You know, the balance there is really odd. And I was reading this article and came across something super interesting that says, even as women earn more university degrees than men, they are still 93%, that's a high percent, more likely to marry men with higher incomes, according to a 2016 study conducted by the University of British Columbia. And though higher incomes don't necessarily equate to a higher social class, financial security is one of the main drivers of female hypergamy. And I mean,
And this is the problem that they're gonna consistently have because they don't want to rip the hip, right? They want to just always be with somebody that is making more than them, and that is a choice, right? That is clearly a choice. As it, I mean, it's the opposite of men. We tend to date down. They tend to only date up. But as a man, we can date on our level or up and have no problem. It won't affect the way that we look at the other person. But for them, if you're making less than them, they just assume that you are less than them. Like this is a totally a choice that they're making, right? This is something they have full control over. It's just that they're a hive mind, and I don't know, they get embarrassment or secondhand embarrassment if the guy's making less of them. So I guess maybe the equivalent to a male is, I mean, I would look down or hide a relationship I was in if the girl was like on OF. That's the equivalent to me. Like, I wouldn't want anybody to know that, right? But then again, I wouldn't even deal with her. So maybe that's the equivalent on the male side of what they're feeling on the female side. I'm just trying to be like fair here, objective.
When you think about it, it's incredibly true. If I look at every single woman in my life, I don't know one that is married to or dating a man that makes less money than she does. We often, I think, just tend to seek out men who are better off than we are, even if we don't necessarily need to. If any of you know anybody where the dynamic is that the woman is making more than the man, please share down below, because I would be super interested to hear about it, because just through my lens and my perspective and my, personal life, I don't know anybody like that, and I think that's very interesting. So why do we as women do this if we don't even necessarily need to? We are more financially successful than ever, we are more educated than ever before, and yet we're still looking for men who are somehow better off than we are.
Reason is, like I said before, at the end of the day, they get a payout from the court system, and at some point they just want to be at home, whether it's with the kids or maybe trying to start their own business. They're going to want to leave the workforce.
Well, the article explained it for us, and it says, this may be an evolutionary callback to the prehistoric woman's need for a capable provider. There are inherited tendencies for some women to be attracted to men who have more means, which goes back to our roots as hunters and gatherers. Similarly, there are inherited tendencies for some men to feel attracted to women who appear more fertile. Example, wide hips, long hair. That said, we are the only species who has the capacity to be consciously aware of those tendencies, and we have moved beyond them as a primary driver for mating in today's more modern world. And although I do think there are a lot of women who don't necessarily care about that as much, I do think the majority still do, even though we don't need to. Men want a woman who they find attractive, and there is an evolutionary underpinning to what men deem attractive, says Fisher. Attractiveness in this context means that those women show signs of health, youth, and fertility. That's why many men will marry down in social class for someone with superior looks. And it totally makes sense when you think about it. Women want the guys who are more successful, who have created an empire, who make more money, and men want a woman who, maybe doesn't have the best job, maybe isn't anywhere high on the social status.
No. It's clearly about, and I know that they don't like this, it's about the chances of her body count being high and the physical cues, right? The long hair, the hips, right? The bust, the rear end. Like, that's what it's about. And this is where we come in, this is where we have a problem, right? Because once a woman is in her 30s, right, and she's ready to settle down, from 28 to 35 is usually when they're ready to lock a guy in. What are the chances that her body count is well over 10? And I'm being generous here. I'm being very generous here. And as a man, and the more you've accomplished, why would you deal with a woman who has a super high body count when you take away or strip it down to what it really is, you picking the woman you're gonna get companionship, you're gonna get, to pay for her and pay for whatever kids you produce, right? So you're basically paying for everything, right? And I mean, you do get a return, but it's based off how the person looks at it. It's subjective, right? If you want to have kids and you really want them to be like high, elite type kids or whatever, or you want them to, compete on an elite level within the world, okay, then you look at it as an investment, right? And that's your return, right? Having high quality kids. And, with the high quality woman, it's going to be a hefty price tag.
But is attractive. And I think this makes a ton of sense when you look at men who make a ton of money and the woman that they're with, and women who are very beautiful and attractive and the man that they are with. So it kind of lines up and it makes sense. And I think the reason why there's a little bit of a kind of shift in the way that people feel about this is because the world has changed. Women are making a lot more money. Women are more educated. Women are, higher up in the social class than ever before. So that need for a man who has that is becoming significantly less. But people who want a relationship, women specifically who want a relationship, want to be married, are still going for that top percentage of men who meet that criteria. So the available pool of men is shrinking. So an interesting thought I want to leave you guys with in the comments is, what is going to happen as women continue to become more financially successful, more educated, better off than most men are? Women will have no choice but to either marry down, go after the top percentage of men, which I think is what is currently happening.
Right, I'll tell you here, Courtney, I got you. They're going to continue to do it until they age out, right? And then they get whatever they can get, right? However, the problem that they're running into and that they're going to run into is once all men understand how women date and move, once they accept it, there's always going to be the guys who they refuse to see it. They just refuse to see it. But there's so much information out there that you can't go anywhere on the internet without seeing it. At least for me, I'll say that for me. You can't go anywhere without seeing it, right? And what happens when those guys say, well, no, I'm the second pick. You're just trying to use me to get your ring and get your baby, right? To fulfill your agenda. It's not genuine anymore, right? Once you get to a certain age, once a woman gets to a certain age, there's no genuine desire anymore. It's just, I need to accomplish this, right? And again, this is how you end up with guys in sexless marriages, and they just get divorced. Great, the kingdom come, because they weren't built on genuine desire. And there is no relationship without genuine desire. Yes, the finances have to be there, but if y'all genuinely don't desire each other, it's not gonna last.
Or not get married at all. When the entire pool of women are going after for a tiny pool percentage of men, there's obviously going to be women who don't get what they want. And I think that those women end up becoming resentful, bitter, hate men, say that men aren't good enough, say that there's no good men out there or no good men left because they feel like they've all already been taken.
Right, and they just become cat ladies. I mean, we're gonna have a lot of the golden girls, right? And that's just what it's gonna be. Either they're gonna share, some of them are gonna get the guy some of them are gonna win and get the guy. Most of them will share, right? Whether they know it or not. And then some of them are just gonna settle down with somebody that they don't like. The other ones are just gonna be cat ladies, wine and cat ladies.
And it's going to be interesting to see how this dynamic continues to change for men and women, because men are either going to have to rise up.
And another thing too, then you have the passport bro option as well. You can just go overseas. A lot of men are just going to go overseas, and then then you're really screwed then, because the guys that you probably would have looked at just to settle down with, now they're gone. They're in a whole nother country, right? And now, I mean, it's not going to be interesting to see. I believe it'll be chaotic, but we're going to see it. We're going to live through this and see what's going to happen. So,
or be forever single like some of these women are going to be. So it's very interesting, and I would love to hear what you guys think down in the comments below. But hypergamy is real. It does exist, and I think it even exists to a point where when a woman gets what she thinks she wants or gets someone successful, then she just constantly wants more or wants better, right? The same way a man gets an attractive woman, but then gets that attractive woman and thinks, oh, there's someone more attractive.
nope. No. This is not how most guys think. Most guys get their girl, right? And they want a family. They want to provide, they want to be a good father. They want to be a good husband. They're not constantly chasing after more and more beautiful women. This is not how men work, right? A very, very small percentage of men are like that. And then within that small percentage of men, a lot of them end up wanting to settle down, get their girl, and start their family. This is how we are. We do have a point where enough is enough. Now with money, right, with assets and things of that nature, we might have that. You can apply that attitude, right? So, but that is only so we can provide a better life for ourselves and for our family and for our grandkids and great grandkids. That is the mindset of a lot of men. If I'm wrong, let me know. If you guys disagree with that take, let me know in the comment section.
Attractive than her, and so then he gets someone with a bigger butt or better hair or a better face, you know what I mean? So I do think it's kind of the same in the sense where men are going after the most beautiful and attractive women. They get an attractive woman and then they see someone more attractive and
all right, I'm gonna stop it there. She's wrong, completely wrong. And the thing is like when women try to speak from the male perspective, you could never know. You're not a man. And the small anecdotal experiences that you have or have had, they don't justify. You can't say all men think that way just because you had a few anecdotal experiences. The same way we can't say all women, but we are listening to a woman tell us that majority of women are hypergamous. Okay, we accept that. But you can't tell us how we pursue and how we are satisfied. This is why men typically don't get divorced. Whether they want to or not, they usually stay for the family aspect, to keep the kids together, because that is very important. You're right, for the kids to grow up in a two-parent household. However, it really needs to be, again, a relationship where there is genuine desire there, right? Even, it doesn't really matter how old you get. You should always be in physical, not great shape, but good shape. And this goes for both men and women, because that's how you're going to stay attracted to one another, right? And you'll age slower. You'll look better aging. But I'm gonna leave it there, guys. Let me know what you guys think about this video, right? Am I wrong? Is she right? Vice versa. What do you guys think? I'm interested to hear what you guys think. Definitely drop me a comment, like, subscribe, share the video if you can. If not, understand. Until the next video, guys, peace.